This episode is brought to you by
JG
Graybill!
Woo! Now enjoy the episode. Owen, I have a debate for you. On this channel, on this YouTube channel, this podcast, on this platform that discusses the in-depth parts of sports that you guys never get to hear. We discuss Tom Brady GOAT debates, Michael Jordan versus LeBron GOAT debates. Like, we discuss all these
real
debates.
unique, original stuff that nobody else talks about.
Owen, is water wet?
Welcome to part 2 of episode 134. For those of you watching on YouTube, Luke is gone.
I am Luke.
What? We're about to transition to me and Parker, but before we do, I would like to give we've already had the teaser of potentially having Joe Burrow on the podcast. I'm going to give a teaser for a story which is going to tease a second installment in the next episode. So it's a layered tease. There's going to be multiple teasers within the teaser and a story.
Too much teasing.
So we gave each other Christmas gifts first episode of the year.
Yes,
I'm going to try to be as vague as possible.
Well, most of us gave each other Christmas gifts.
In a couple minutes, Parker and I are going to tell the story. So let me just try to be vague here so that Luke doesn't get too many details. Basically, yeah, we all gave each other gifts.
Most of us gave each other gifts.
Parker and I teamed up with Luke's gift, but there were some complications. And so we did not give him his gift at that present moment. And now it's his birthday. And
Happy birthday to me.
We got it. That was sad.
That was so sad.
We got to get him a birthday gift, too. And so it's really backed up. And a lot of things have not really gone right. And it's all Luke's fault.
What?
And that's the tease. Ha ha! Parker and I are about to tell the story. Let's transition to that. And then Luke will be on in episode 135 next week with his response.
What?
I really can't tell you.
Hold on a second. I want to know.
I really can't tell you why it's your fault because it would ruin it.
I am your father. Yep, I'm the new Luke. They call me Luke 2.0.
Yep, and I'm sitting in Luke's seat, and Luke 2.0 just we switched sides.
Parker
It's a
Paglia.
mirror dimension type of thing, so
Yeah,
everything flipped,
true.
basically.
He's using Doctor Strange lingo. I like it. Good job,
That was a
Owen.
mistake. So
you
we
said mirror dimension. Soon you're going to be talking about like magical wizardry type stuff.
Yeah,
like,
that's definitely a rabbit hole I'm going to be going down very quickly. Speaking of Marvel,
Quantum
that transitions
Realm.
us perfectly to telling the story that we just teased a couple minutes ago at the end
Yes.
of Luke's half of the episode, where, yeah, as I said, we've utterly failed in getting him a gift, but it is his fault.
It is his fault.
So,
And here's why.
Yeah, we'll kind of go back and forth. Parker and I both know this story. It started, I would say, the second week of December, probably.
We were pretty prepared, like 10 days out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're very good planners like that. And Luke had sent me, unprovoked, I was not asking Luke, like, hey, what do you want for Christmas? He sent me this. He had showed me a video of it maybe a couple weeks earlier. And then he sent me the link to this Iron Man mask. How would you describe it? It was like...
It looked cool.
It had, like, voice activation.
Yeah, and it kind of opened.
Systems. Yeah. It was very nice.
It looked shiny.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't like one of those plastic ones. Like, it looked like metal.
Yeah. Heavy duty.
The eyes lit up when it closed. Yeah, pretty cool. But it was $80. So, a little bit expensive. We were considering it, willing to spend $80, but, let's wait, see if we have any better ideas. And then I think it was a week before Christmas. I checked the link that Luke had sent me again. And the website, by the way, was like thestarks.shop, which I was like, a bit weird, but, I trust Luke. He sent me this link. I don't know where you look for Iron Man masks, so what do I know? And so it said there were like 10 left in stock. and the price had dropped to $35. And I was like, oh, wow, great call waiting on this. Bargain, let's do it. Showed it to Parker. He was like, yup, I'm in. Let's do it. I'll give you $15. So we buy it. $35. What a discount. Just amazing. I pay for it. And then it didn't say like how long shipping would probably be. That was another weird thing was there were no shipping fees.
Yeah, see, for me that's not very weird.
Like maybe they added it into the product.
Well, yeah, like that's what I do. That's what I did for sports cards a lot. People like no shipping fees. So,
yeah.
So you just make the card cost $2 more.
Yeah, people would prefer to just pay for the product and the product be a little more expensive because it just like feels like you're paying less.
Yeah. Because there's no like taxes, so to speak, on the shipping. Because shipping kind of feels like taxes a little bit. So
bit of a mind game.
So that's not like which is good for them. They tried to make it more appealing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like for them, they used it as a tactic. Yeah. The company, the fake company.
Whoa.
Do we not get?
We didn't get to that yet.
Well, I'm kind of spoiling stuff.
Well,
but you could see where we were going.
It was building. Yeah, it said that you could track it by like downloading this app, and I was like, that's fine. I don't need to track it. I'll just when it gets here, it gets here. Tracking it doesn't make it get here any faster. That's normally what I do with packages. But then
it never
2
came.
weeks passed, and then a
Christmas
month
passed.
Yeah,
New Year's passed.
And I think it was the second week of January, so it had been basically a month since Luke had sent it to me, and 3 weeks since we had bought it. Yeah, I was talking to Parker about it, and I was like, it still hasn't shown up. So I'm going to go back to the website and like try to do the shipment tracking. I go back to the website, and Safari says, sorry, this address is no longer supported. So that was another red flag. And I was like, okay, I screenshotted the order and like sent it to Parker, like, hey, order confirmed email that I had gotten. And it was like, for any help, like send your questions to this email. So I emailed that email and been like, I said, hey, this package hasn't showed up yet. Wondering if there's like a timetable. And then the next day I got an email from Gmail saying like, we're currently unable to locate this email address that you're trying to send this to. We'll keep trying for another 24 hours, and if we can't, then it doesn't exist. So that was the clinching red flag that basically did us in.
Yeah.
And, we got scammed.
We got scammed, and it was Owen's card or whatever.
Yeah, it was my info.
So I feel worse for Owen. But it was all because of Luke that sent us that link.
Yeah. Luke sent us a link to a fake, I don't know if it's a fake product or a fake website or both.
Both.
And
yeah.
What are you doing, Luke?
You create a fake website around the fake product is what they did.
That's probably smart.
But looking back, there was some telltale red flags that I didn't recognize because I was just like, sure, let's just get Luke this present. And I didn't really look at it that closely at all. And Owen just missed them because of the psychological aspect.
And because I've never exactly shopped for Iron Man masks.
Yeah.
So
one was the like 60% discount from $80 to $35.
Yep.
Huge red flag. Second is the saying that there's only 10 left in stock. If there's only 10 left in stock, you would raise the price, supply and demand. That's
true.
If there's 10 left in stock, that means the demand is high and your supply is low.
Yeah.
Right? Your supply is really low. That means that the demand is going to be higher. You don't lower the price. When you only have 10 left in stock. Like, that's not how it works.
That's very true.
And especially, like, peak before Christmas time. Like,
yeah.
Telltale red flags, looking back on it.
Mm-hmm.
And when we didn't even get it by, like, January 1st, we should have known something was up. But there's literally no way to get your money back. I think it would have been impossible.
Definitely not.
Because it's literally fake.
It's gone.
Yeah, so.
Yep.
Anyway, we got burned. But we're going to make up for it, Luke. So just you gotta forgive yourself because it was your mistake. So once you forgive yourself, we can all reconcile and heal. We can heal.
Yes. And that's the first step, is admitting that you made the mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is exactly what Parker and I are doing for Luke.
Yeah, we're admitting that Luke made a mistake.
Yeah. It's just a really healthy thing to do, as friends.
Yeah,
we're always supportive like that.
Yeah, super supportive.
We've got big plans because now this gift that we're prepping is for Christmas and his birthday. So big plans. Big things on the way.
Big things are coming.
On the horizon.
Next podcast episode, I say we should give them to Luke.
I think we should be able to
have
here. It should be ready, probably.
If
not, episode 136 at the latest.
Yes.
So we will have it to him before the Super Bowl, I think is like the deadline.
Super Bowl deadline.
Yeah.
I like.
Oh, really? Okay, another thing.
No, but I did some research on this, and I think I have some knowledge.
I think I'll agree with you on this. I have had this debate with my dad because he says that water is wet, and I'm on the side that water is not wet. It makes other things wet.
Now there's the thing. I've always been on the water is not wet side until I saw this.
Class, I think.
Water is wet.
Wow, shocker!
I've
changed
changed sides. So listen to this.
Okay.
So you've got water, right? You've got water particles.
Yes.
How does water make things wet? The particles, they bond to if I were to dump water on it, it's going to bond to the particles in your shirt, and it's going to saturate.
It's water particles bonding with other particles, not water bonding with water.
Exactly, but listen. When water is on top of water, when you have a glass of water, each individual molecule of H2O is hydrogen bonded to the next molecule of water next to it. Mm-hmm. Therefore, it's a molecule of water bonding to another molecule of water, making that molecule of water wet. And since every molecule of water is constantly bonded with another molecule of water, it is making them both wet by each other. Therefore, water is wet.
Sure.
That is
my understanding was that because they're bonded to each other, how could they both be wet? But you know more about science than I do, so I guess I'll just trust that.
Yeah, the same way that a water would bond with these clothes to make it wet is the same way that they're it's not the same type of bond, but it is the idea is that they're bonding to each other.
But if it already has those properties, can it be made wet?
Yes, that's the theory around it. That since it's a particle of water which makes something wet, and it's bonding to another particle of water, it's
which
therefore
also
making it wet. And then that one that was make thing wet, when it bonds, it makes it wet. So then you could technically, I guess, go and say that if you have a single molecule of water not bonded to anything, then it's not wet. But in like 99.9 repeating cases, which is not actually true because that's another story I have, 0.9 repeating is equal to 1. But that's for another time. That in 99.9999% of cases, you are going to have water bonded to other water molecules with hydrogen bonds, therefore making it wet. I rest my case.
I think for that bit, I'm going to edit it so that I'll have to find, it's not really a meme, but like the thing that people sometimes use where there's just like somebody's talking and it zooms in on their face and there's like all the white numbers flying past them.
Yes!
I think I might have to use that if I can find it.
That'd be beautiful.
I don't know if I will or not in time.
We should have Luke's knowledge segment where I just
we had Luke's light bulb for a little bit there. And then it kind of
you guys can learn something new about science.
Luke has had a lot
Next
of
time
segments.
on All Sports All the Time, we talk about protists.
Oh, that doesn't make you want to come back.
Primary and secondary endosymbiosis.
If that doesn't make you want to come back, I don't know what will. What would make you want to come back other than proteins? Please let us
cheese.
know. No, I was asking that. Cheese.
Cheese would bring me back, yeah.
You've had a lot of segments over the last year. None of them have I feel like they've all been decent, but none of them have been as long lasting as some of our other ones. We had Luke's top 10 cheeses.
Yeah, that lasted 10 episodes.
We almost bought a cheese hat for it. No, it didn't.
Oh, it didn't? Did we just do them all in one episode?
It lasted for 3 because in the third one we did the final 8.
Yeah, we got bored of that quickly.
Yeah. We had Luke's light bulbs. We've got Mad Hatter now. I believe it wasn't really a segment, but one time you described chemistry when Parker was talking about March Madness. That one was really good.
Yeah.
Because Parker was saying how I believe Kentucky had really good chemistry, and then they lost. But
H2O.
that's March Madness. Well, it was K in the K in Kentucky. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is episode 134.
134.
I would say we nailed that intro.
Yeah.
I just realized we didn't turn
1 + 3 = 4.
the big light on. So for those of you watching on YouTube, it's about to get a lot brighter.
But it'll make your quality watching a lot better.
Luke's light bulbs. Luke, say something really smart.
Hold on. 0.9 repeating is equal to 1 because if you have 1/3, which is 0.3 repeating, and then 1/3, which is 0.3 repeating, and then 1/3, which is 0.3 repeating, 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 is equal to 3/3, which is equal to 1.
Yeah!
Like that.
Speaking of the Super Bowl logos are so lame now.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at the old ones?
Yeah.
And it's like they used to hire an artist every single year to do like a unique creative logo, and ever since Super Bowl 51, it's just been like boring L-I, L-I-I, and they're all like these gray block letters.
L-I-I-I. L-I-I-I-I.
V.
L-I-I-I-I. I.
Imagine if Roman numerals... That's like if Roman numerals were, instead of being like X, I, V, and L, it was just like tally marks.
Yeah. So like barbaric.
That would be really funny.
Caveman.
Imagine that Super Bowl logo. It's like 50, how it would be 10 different of the like tally with like 4 and then 1 across. It'd be 10 of those.
Just keep counting.
And then it'd be 11 of those, and then there would be 1.
Yeah.
That'd be a terrible Super Bowl logo, but
yeah.
It'd be pretty funny if it was tally marks.
It would be.
Yeah, that's my complaint with the logos. But we're not at the Super Bowl yet. We are in the conference championship round. Luke and I talked about the AFC championship game.
Did you guys
Bengals,
talk about
Chiefs.
the amazing games that occurred? Did you guys?
We recapped them a bit.
Okay.
Yes.
Just amazing, like probably the most phenomenal weekend of football that we've ever seen in our
Easily.
lifetime.
Yeah.
And that Bills Chiefs game is gonna be looked back on in history as like one of the best games of like the 21st century.
Yeah.
In my
4
opinion.
games, each better than the next somehow.
They progressively somehow just kept getting better. The first 3 games, all like 3 underdogs won, and
3 game-winning field goals.
The 4th game was obviously, everybody knows about
a classic.
Yes.
So hopefully we get another classic with the AFC Championship game, and then yet another one with the NFC Championship game. Luke and I were saying that the AFC Championship game is probably going to be a bit more flashy and exciting, especially offensively. I compared it.
Oh yeah,
the
AFC
Bengals Championship game
exciting to
will
watch.
be a track meet, and the NFC Championship game will be a chess match because of McVay and Shanahan.
Just look back to their meeting at the end of the regular season.
Yeah, Jamar Chase.
The Bengals pulled it off. Man, that was so crazy. They came back from down like what, 17?
It was definitely double digits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that game was the Jamar Chase game, basically. Unfortunately, we missed most of that game because we were watching Eagles football team.
Wow.
So
smart of us.
Some of the trade-offs you make sometimes when you're a fan of an NFC East team.
Yeah.
You watch your team win 20-17 in just like a slugfest when you could have seen a crazy game with Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So, trade-offs. Luke decided that he will be wearing his Joe Burrow shirt jersey thing we got him last year for Christmas for this AFC Championship
That was a
game
good
for
buy.
Good luck.
That was a good buy. I mean,
Joe
Burrow,
we bought low. I bet that shirt costs so much more now.
Mm-hmm. We bought low, and he's not going to sell it. But if he
Burrow bought, that didn't really work. It kind of rhymes. No,
doesn't rhyme.
Bought low Burrow.
Bought low Burrow. Buy low Burrow.
Anyway, would you sell high on Joe Burrow now, or would you keep your stock and keep riding?
Yeah, I like Joe Burrow.
Okay,
as long as he doesn't get hurt again, because he's getting sacked about 50 times a game.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, hey, he has Jamar Chase.
Problem solved.
Sewell probably wouldn't have helped that much. Probably would have only given up, 48 sacks instead of 50 a game.
Yeah. You don't have any stock in Jamar Chase. You sold all of it during the draft.
Yeah,
so
well,
missed out on that one.
I really that was probably my worst take ever. I think, right?
I mean, you also said the Eagles would have 3 wins this year, but the Jamar Chase one was
Jamar
pretty
Chase
bad.
is worse. That's worse. The Eagles.
That one's bad.
The Eagles one was pretty bad, but Jamar Chase
Probably.
really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, he's broken all the rookie wide receiver records.
Yeah.
So.
But you also said that last year the Bucks were your bandwagon team. Nailed that.
True.
And then this year you said the Chiefs would win the Super Bowl, and that one's looking pretty good too.
So I have pluses and minuses.
You know.
I also said DK Metcalf was going to be a beast,
and
then he went off last season.
That's true.
So
you get that one. So wide receivers, ebbs and flows in the
also,
analysis.
Owen said James Robinson was going to be trashed this year and hated my pick.
He was good.
Yeah.
He wasn't great.
No, but he was where I picked him was good value. And you hated that
was
pick.
Was it good value?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
No, he shouldn't have. The running
I think
backs,
you got him at the exact right spot.
No, the running backs that went before him, there was a lot of guys that were way worse than him.
Yeah, but he ended up being what, like the 20 to 24th running back?
No.
No?
No, he was higher than that.
There's no way he was an RB1.
No, he was like
he
top
was in
15.
the teens? Okay. Then it was a good pick. I thought he was in like early 20s.
And you said the one reason, I remember this because I was so mad at you. The one reason that you didn't like my fantasy team was because of that pick.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
That's not nice.
Yeah. Another terrible take I had, I was looking at my whiteboard NFL picks. My best year ever, like accuracy-wise, and Parker tied me exactly, which is crazy that happened when we did our preseason predictions and everything. But I had, you want to guess which team? I had the Bengals going 7-10. Take a guess which horrible team I also had going 7-10.
The Jaguars.
I had the Jets and the Bengals with the same record at the beginning of the year.
And the Jets are obviously bottom of the league, and the Bengals are literally top 4.
Yep.
Wow. That's bad.
Not my best prediction.
I might have had the Bengals going 5-12, maybe.
Wow.
I would need. I don't know off the top of my head, but I did not have them
being this good.
I had them in the last 4th in the
North.
Yeah, AFC North.
The AFC North was kind of loaded this year, though. Like the Ravens.
But you also, one of your worst takes ever is you had the Browns in the Super Bowl this year.
You had the Browns going like 12-5,
but not in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's true.
They're the Browns.
But, we both had them making the playoffs. I think you had them winning one playoff game maybe, or just making it and then losing. Yes, I did have them in the
Mayfield
Super
is their
Bowl,
quarterback. They can't make it to the Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield.
Another way to phrase it is my Super Bowl was the Rams versus an AFC North team that wears orange.
Yeah, but no, that doesn't matter.
If the Bengals and Rams win, I think that's a win for me.
No, it's not. You can't. That doesn't. The phrasing doesn't work.
The Super Bowl is going to be really exciting though if it's Rams Chiefs. One, because obviously they're great teams, but you picked the Chiefs to win at the beginning of the year, and I picked the Rams to win at the beginning of the year. So one of us is going to look super smart.
Yeah.
So.
And it's going to be me.
Sure. The Super Bowl is also going to have really high stakes because Parker's picks versus Peglia's picks this week is a little anticlimactic, but it's going to lead to a more exciting finish in the Super Bowl because Luke's just going to copy Parker's picks, and then you want to explain how it's going to work in the Super Bowl?
Yeah. So I think you guys talked about it with Luke about how he's just going to copy me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm picking the Chiefs and Rams this week. So Luke's picking also the Chiefs and Rams. If the Chiefs win, I'm going to pick them again in the Super Bowl because I did at the beginning of the year. And so I'm just going to ride it out to the end. So I'm just going to go Chiefs, which means Luke will have to pick the Rams. But if the Bengals beat the Chiefs, then that's kind of Luke's team. Like, he kind of looks like Joe Burrow a little bit, and he's like riding the Bengals right now. So if the Bengals win, Luke's going to get the Bengals in the Super Bowl no matter what, and I'll pick either the Rams or 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it's going to work out.
Yeah. We haven't really talked specifically about Rams 49ers yet. You think the Rams are going to win. Do you think it's because Jimmy G's just not going to be able to do enough, or because their offense is going to take over?
Well, no. So I think the 49ers defense is obviously their strong point, right? And I think that they're going to hold the Rams in check for the most part. But I feel like with the Rams defensive line and just the Rams overall pieces, they're kind of like built like a championship team. Mm-hmm. Like they're built like a team that's able to get to the Super Bowl. And Jimmy G, I don't think can can lead a team to the Super Bowl, like with the way he's been playing.
Yeah.
So I just don't think he's going to be able to do enough, combined with the fact that the 49ers are kind of limping to the finish line right now. They've had a lot of injuries, and the Rams are kind of hitting their stride at the right time. So, yeah, I think that they're not going to also be able to keep Cooper Kupp in check because nobody has been able to.
No.
So
the 49ers have beaten them in the last 6 matchups, though.
They have, and that's, I mean, they're going to have a chance. They're going to have a chance. It's just going to come down to if the Rams can do anything on offense, and I think they're going to be able to do a little
Like
bit.
if the Rams can get over, 24 points, they should win?
Yeah, I would say 20.
Over 20?
Yeah.
Really low scoring?
Yeah.
Okay.
If the Rams can score 3 touchdowns, I think they're going to win. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that they'll be able to do that.
Yeah. It does feel like the Rams have the most momentum right now. Like all of their best players played really well last week.
I would
They
argue
beat the Bucks.
Well, I mean, they had momentum for the first 2 quarters.
Yeah.
And then it kind of died out in the third and fourth quarter. I would argue that the
And
Chiefs
then they
have
gained momentum right at the end.
The Chiefs and Bengals, I would argue, both have more momentum.
Yes. Yeah. When we get to the Super Bowl, the AFC team will have more momentum than the NFC team because
Well, it depends.
no matter who wins the AFC Championship game,
Maybe
one
the
of those
Rams
teams
get a
is on a
blowout.
roll.
If the Rams get a blowout,
Maybe.
they might have more momentum. But the Bengals, man, if they
we
win,
should have a momentum meter.
momentum meter. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go through let's go through the 4
Okay.
teams.
I think I remember Mr. Wagaman telling us that.
Yeah, that's where I
8th
learned
grade.
it. And then I did more research on it, and I found even
Yeah.
more reasons as to why it's true.
Hmm.
It is 100% true.
And that is why math doesn't matter, kids.
But math is fun. Kind of.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Depends.
Yeah, debatable.
Yeah.
Stats probably more fun. I've heard
Yes.
that stat is better than like
I was
algebra.
just going to say that. Stat is my
I can't
favorite
wait.
math
I'm
class
taking
I've
stat
taken in high
next year.
school.
I'm going to take it next year.
Good call. It's the best class I've taken.
Easily.
Math class I've taken.
Yeah.
For sure. Just because it like logically makes a lot more sense.
Oh,
than-
yeah. I feel like it does.
algebra.
Then, yeah, why would, who needs trig?
Exactly.
Trig is the worst.
hmm I haven't even taken trig, and just from the name, you can tell that trig is the worst.
It is.
Trigonometry, who wants to do that?
The
Although I
I did love geometry.
I mean, in pre-calc, that was like half trigonometry, so I've done a little
Yeah.
bit, but still.
There was a
terrible.
heavy focus on that in math analysis, and it was horrible.
Yeah, I was glad I didn't take math analysis.
You should be. I had a friend that took that class for one day, and then he dropped it. He was in my class, and I'm so jealous of him. I made fun of him at first. I'm like, wow, imagine dropping a class after one day. And by halfway, 3/4 through that class, I'm like, man, I envy him.
No, that's the Parker strategy, like with the SATs, where he's
Yeah.
like, guys, just don't study, you'll be fine. And then he scored like a 1,400 or something really good. I was like, see, it worked. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just it's foolproof. You think we should probably talk about sports a little bit?
Really?
I guess.
Is it, are we?
Sports
All the time. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. The NFL. It's pretty popular, I would say.
I would say. I feel like a lot. I feel like didn't their preseason game, their first preseason game, average more viewers than the championships of other sporting events?
Something ridiculous.
Something like that,
I don't
yeah.
understand why people watch the Hall of Fame game, but it's it's football, so we do. But the championship games are coming up when we're recording this. Again, we have a weird paradox with this podcast because we go to school, so we can't really record episodes on Monday after the games.
I feel like Wednesday recording would be the best because it's right after you can talk about the previous week of football.
Yeah.
Or no, Tuesday recording,
Tuesday.
Wednesday release.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about the previous week
Yeah.
and what happened because it just happened, and you can preview the following week.
Unfortunately, we can't do that, so we record before the football games, and then the football games happen, and then the episode
And then you guys
comes
get
out,
to make
so
fun
it's
of
this
us
weird
for being bad.
thing that happens. But we try to preview the games as best we can, and so this episode's going to be a bit weird because it's going to be me and Luke, and then at some point it's going to be boom, me and Parker. I should probably try to do a cool transition. I'll be wearing something different though.
Unless you wear the same sweatshirt.
I could, maybe. We'll
I
see.
won't be here though.
We'll see if I'm that dedicated to the bit. But there'll be a hard cut, and poof, Parker will be in my seat, and then I'll
It'll
be
be
in
like
the
a
seat
three-way
that
poof.
Luke's in. Poof, poof,
There'll be a
poof.
giant
Gorgeous.
explosion right here, and then eventually you'll just see not us. But
like a smoke bomb.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's rearranged. Yeah, something like that.
something. Yeah.
So Luke and I are going to talk about the AFC Championship game, and then Parker and I will talk about the NFC Championship game. Parker's picks versus Paglia's picks is not really going to be existent this week because
Yeah.
Luke is down 2. Parker had a great week last week,
Yeah.
came back, and is now up 2 games on Luke. The championship round is worth
This year has
4
been an
points.
incredible year for
Yes.
picks. It has been
Back
back
and
and forth all year long. So I think it's only right that it comes down to the Super Bowl determining the winner of this game.
So you're picking the exact same games as Parker.
Yes.
It'd be very risky for you to pick something different because if you
If I
lose
lose,
it,
he'd be up by 6, can't come back during the
Super Bowl's
Bowl.
worth 5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
and even
Super
if you
Bowl-
win, you would only be up by 2, and he could still win. So it's
High
not,
risk, high reward, but
Yeah. Well, high risk, low reward, actually.
no, because then I have reign to pick whoever I want in the Super Bowl if there's a higher favorite.
Yeah, but is there ever a favorite that's like, yup, that team is a lock to win the Super Bowl? Like, normally
The
it's a close
Patriots.
game in the Super Bowl. Well, what about against the Eagles?
That's fair.
Gotcha. But, yeah, I understand what you mean, yeah. How about
Yeah.
high risk, medium reward? Is that
That's
compromise?
average reward, I'd say.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, so let's talk about Chiefs-Bengals. My initial thought, obviously, the Chiefs are favored despite the fact that the Bengals beat them in the regular season. And I saw a stat today that teams in the conference championship games that are playing a rematch from the regular season, the team that won in the regular season is 10-2. So that stat is very much in favor of the Bengals.
I feel like weird, crazy stats have been very true this year for some reason.
Yes.
Like there have been games
There
where
have
it's
been
like
so many of
like
them.
the Lions versus some other team, and it's like, oh, this team is like, oh, what was the one game? It was
That
Jacksonville, the Jacksonville versus Colts game. How the Colts
Oh,
have
yeah.
never beat like Jacksonville
On the road,
or
in Jacksonville Stadium.
And then it's like, okay, but the Colts are really good, and the Jacksonville is horrible. Like this is easily
Yeah.
locked down, and then somehow Jacksonville wins against all the Colts starters. Like just weird, crazy stats that have for some reason worked out this year.
Except for that one stat that we found about like the Lions still having a chance to make the playoffs with those
Well,
like ridiculous odds.
Yeah,
That
but
one
that
didn't
wasn't
really work.
that wasn't really a stat. That
It's
was
a bit
just
of a long shot.
that was just a oh, this could happen.
Mm.
But I'm talking about like stats where teams are like 10-2 against
Mm.
stuff like that.
Like how the Niners are 6-0 against the Rams in their last 6 games. Wow, those sort of things. But we're not talking about that game. That'll be me and Parker. I think you are obviously rooting for the Bengals just because of Joe Burrow,
Bengals,
right?
yeah, my man, Joe Burrow.
They look very
Joe
similar.
Burrow.
Now that Joe Burrow has a bit more of a beard,
We don't look as similar
Yeah.
now.
Also, the bleached blonde hair isn't.
Yeah.
helping you.
I was talking to one of my coworkers, and I'm like, yeah, my friends like to say that I look like Joe Burrow, and he's like, I don't really see it. And I'm like,
A
no,
lot
think
of
back to
people have said
LSU
that.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
And then I sent him the post of the side-by-side that we have, and he's like, oh, yeah, I see that.
Joe Burrow's had a bit of a glow up. You're still getting there. He's
Thank-
older than you.
Thanks,
so,
Owen.
You know, he has. I mean, something about
Fair.
he went from being in college to being in the pros. I think it's the beard.
I
Honestly,
love the beard,
I think
though.
the beard is what leveled him up. So you'll get there eventually. Joe Burrow's what, 24 maybe, 25. I remember
Probably.
he was really old for being a rookie. So he's probably like 25. So just another 7 years and you'll get there
I'll get there
eventually, probably.
Maybe. Eventually.
Yeah, I think that a key matchup here is the Chiefs just gave up 200 yards and 4 touchdowns to Gabriel Davis
Yeah.
in the Bills game. They did a great
So-
job locking down Stephon Diggs.
Can
which
they
you
lock
would
down
think-
Jamar Chase? I don't think so.
Well, it's kind of the same thing where it's like the Bengals definitely have a number 1 in Jamar Chase, like the Bills who had a number 1 in Stephon Diggs. The Chiefs locked down the number 1 guy, which they could do against Jamar Chase, but then
And T. Higgins will come up.
and Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
Both of them I would
There are
think
two
are better
solid
than Gabriel
options.
Davis. So if Gabriel Davis did that,
Because
in
I've
this
actually
game,
heard of
what are
T.
the Bengals
Higgins
gonna do?
and Tyler Boyd.
You had, yeah,
I mean, I've heard of Gabriel
Mhm.
Davis, but you don't hear his name.
yeah. The Bengals
I've never had him on a
are
fantasy
deeper
team.
at the wide receiving.
I've had both T.
core.
Higgins and Tyler Boyd on a fantasy team before.
There you go.
Random waiver claims, but still okay. Still better than
Yeah,
not having them on my fantasy team.
you never waiver claimed Gabriel Davis.
No.
Yeah. So if Gabriel Davis did that, not saying that,
I waiver
Boyd
claimed Cole
and-
Beasley. That was a mistake.
and you traded Hunter Renfrow, and then he went off. Anyway,
Well, that was after I was already done for, so.
the Bengals' second and third wide receivers are much better than the Chiefs' second and third wide, or than the Bills' second and third wide receivers.
And
so
probably the Chiefs' second and third wide receivers.
yeah, if the Bills did that,
Yeah.
how are the Chiefs going to be able to stop T. Higgins. And, like, everybody's focusing on Jamar
Yeah.
Chase. I'm more concerned about the second and third guys.
I agree. I think after, despite seeing the game of the century last week, that game was seriously unreal, and it was crazy, and the Chiefs absolutely went off, as well as the Bills did too. Like, and honestly, that game was decided by a coin toss. It didn't matter who.
Yeah.
Like, whoever got the ball was going to score.
Fix the overtime rules.
Exactly.
Obviously, all had momentum.
It's a scale of 0 to 100, right?
Yeah.
And there's, like, picture, like, a bar, and it's got, like, smaller bars within it, and 0's at the bottom, 100's at the top, and it goes from, like, green, yellow, red.
Yeah.
Let's go AFC first. The Bengals. They've got a lot of momentum.
They have a ton of momentum.
They're probably in the red area of the momentum meter.
Yeah, I would argue they're about, like, 90. I would say they're 90 out of 100 momentum.
Okay.
Because they beat the Chiefs at the end of that regular season. Like, they were coming into the playoffs hot, and then they got 2 straight upsets. They're really hot right now.
I think they were favored over the Raiders, but still 2 close games.
True, they probably were. Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably put them at an 87. Pretty close. Not quite in the 90s, just because they didn't necessarily play a great game against the Titans. Like, they just barely squeaked past them. But they did have a fantastic performance from Joe Burrow under all that pressure, and they had a game-winning field goal, so that's obviously going to give you momentum regardless. Any game-winning field goal automatically gives you a boost in the momentum meter, obviously. So 90 and 87 Chiefs. Man. They can't have quite as much momentum as a team like the Bengals who made it out of the divisional round, because you can't really have a ton of momentum with the bye week. But that Bills game has to give you so much momentum.
And the way the offense was clicking over the Bills defense, which is like what? It was like what, top 3? Was it number 1?
I think the Bills had the number 1 overall defense.
They destroyed the number 1 overall defense.
Yeah.
So that's got to give you a lot of confidence and a lot of momentum.
Now, it was also a pretty long game, so maybe a little bit tired.
No, you have a week.
Just the pure, adrenaline from that game has to be a lot. I'll put the Chiefs at an 82 on the momentum meter, just 5 points below the Bengals.
I think they're like, really close to the Bengals. I'm gonna say like an 87.
Okay.
They're both like really high.
There we go. So we both have the Bengals slightly higher on the momentum meter than the Chiefs. And then I think with the NFC teams, the Niners would be a lot higher for me on the momentum
They
meter.
didn't have injuries.
Yeah, if they hadn't ended the Packers game with Kittle limping off the field, Debo skipping off the field, and Trent Williams hobbling off the field.
Yeah, at least they all made it off the field.
Those are like the 3 players that the Niners can't have hurt.
Debo Samuel is
that puts a damper on
almost carrying the 49ers right now. He's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, that
So
pick
good.
is probably one of the best picks in fantasy, like, for Owen.
Yes.
Whoever
and
drafted
you helped me make that, because I really wanted Brandon Ayuk and was so upset when you got him.
I know.
It worked out.
Just the scheming, they didn't do any scheming for Ayuk. They did it all for Debo.
Yeah.
And then Debo started being the running back because all their
Ridiculous.
running backs got hurt. And he's absolutely destroying at the running back position. He's like one of the most efficient running backs. And like teams know, like after the first 2 weeks, you were like, okay, well, this is just like because it's new. Now that teams know that Debo's going to be back there, they can stop it. No, like nobody can stop
luck.
Debo. Like literally, all you need to do is give him the ball, and he's just going to destroy you.
Speaking of things you can't stop, they're also sending Trent Williams in motion, which it just has to be terrifying as a defensive end. Just all of a sudden, here comes Trent Williams, and he's not only trying to block you, he has a full head of steam because he's been running across the offensive line.
Yeah.
Like that, it's just brilliant stuff like that from Kyle Shanahan. He's so creative with those sorts of things. So the Niners
momentum meter.
The Niners would have so much momentum, beating the Cowboys and the Packers, but the injuries dropped them a bit.
I'm gonna say 80. I think
tough.
it's still in the 80s. I'm gonna say 80.
Still really high. That's a lot of momentum. I'll be a little bit more gracious. I'll give them an 85 on the momentum meter. I've given all 80s so far.
Well, all these teams have momentum.
A lot of momentum for all these teams. Maybe we should have done it out of 10. That might have made a bit more sense. But, it's fine. We're all good.
And then
85 for the Niners.
And lastly, the Rams. They had a lot of momentum, but then the second half of that Bucks game. But they did gain some of it back on those 2 big chunk plays to get the game-winning field goal.
Yeah, and then the game-winning field goal itself is a huge momentum play as well. Mm-hmm. Winning the game is big.
And did they have a bye before that? No, they didn't.
No, they played. The Eagles were the 7th seed and the Bucks were the 2. The Rams beat the Cardinals.
Oh yeah, that's a big win, and they destroyed the Cardinals.
Yeah, so they had a lot of momentum there. They rode it
and
into
they beat
the
Bucks, which is arguably the best team to lose this past weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
give them.
It's kind of a lot of momentum. I think it's going to be more than the 49ers. I gave them an 80. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be an 86 for me.
Okay. I do think the Rams. I was considering giving the Rams a 90 because knocking off the Super Bowl champs has to be huge. You saw how fired up Matthew Stafford was afterwards. It's just his 2nd playoff win ever. So, a different meter. Matthew Stafford, probably the highest on the motivation meter.
Yes.
We don't have to get into that.
Did you see the comparison to his play where he's like, spike it, spike it.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Clock it. That was so good. His 2 iconic moments. Unfortunately, the Lions one was in a meaningless Thanksgiving game. This one was a little more important.
Yeah.
But Matthew Stafford, definitely the highest player on the motivation meter this week. But the situation in SoFi Stadium where the Rams have home field advantage, but not really because Niners fans tend to take over there, that drops them a few points. So I'll put them at an 86 also.
Nice.
Just because I don't think they have more momentum than the Bengals. I gave the Bengals an 87. Rams are at an 86, right below them. So mine were Bengals have the most momentum, then the Rams, then the Chiefs, and then the Niners.
But you said Niners had 85.
I did?
Yeah.
Never mind. Then I said the Chiefs have the least momentum. Whoa.
Whoa.
I might have messed that up a bit. I should probably put the Niners below the Chiefs. Oh, well, too late.
Too late.
That is how the momentum meter works.
That was a cool little segment.
Yeah, we might have to bring that back. I'll try to find a graphic of a meter to make for that. We'll have to make it basketball because football season's almost over, but the momentum meter might have some promise. So that game is probably going to be more exciting offensively than the NFC Championship game, but the NFC Championship game is going to be fun because it's
that is
2 of the smartest head coaches going up against each other. Shanahan versus McVay.
Yeah. And both those teams, while they have strong offenses, their defenses are really, really strong.
The AFC Championship game will be a sprint, and the NFC Championship game will be a chess match.
That is so very true. One's going to be super high scoring, and one's going to be, in my opinion, very low scoring.
Yeah, probably.
Because, the Niners have a good offense, but, the most elite thing about that offense is Deebo Samuel and George Kittle.
Which I don't have a problem with.
No,
I wouldn't be upset if my offense had Deebo Samuel and George Kittle.
The fact that they're still winning as much as they can with a horrible Jimmy G is absolutely crazy.
The fact that Jimmy G is in the conference championship and Josh Allen isn't, I think is my best case ever that quarterbacks should not be defined by wins alone.
There are so many other quarterbacks that should be in the postseason over Jimmy G that just aren't there. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Tom Brady.
Those were just the 3 from last week.
Justin Herbert, for goodness sake.
Dude, imagine Justin Herbert on the 49ers. Whoa. Imagine Aaron Rodgers on the 49ers if he leaves the Packers this year.
I think he's going to the Steelers. I would love to. I think that'd be fun to see.
I want to see him go to the Niners just for 1 year. Win a Super Bowl, retire.
They passed up on him a while
That's
ago.
why it would be really funny.
Yeah, I know.
Have him go back. He's never beaten them in the playoffs, and then he takes them to a Super Bowl.
Do you want to know what
retires.
I saw? Do you want to know why Rodgers lost in that round?
This past week?
Yeah.
Because his special teams allowed a blocked punt.
No.
For a touchdown.
Because if the season were to be reverted back to the 16-game season, the NFC Championship round would have been last weekend. And he always loses in the NFC Championship round.
So it's just the 3rd week of February.
Yes.
Not necessarily which game he's playing in. Yep, that.
Yep, it doesn't matter what game it is. It's just that it's after, 16 games plus 2. So 18. It's on that 18th game. He can't play an 18th game.
Well, but they had a bye week. Does that factor into it at all?
No, because every team plays 16 games in the regular season. Mm-hmm. Well, now 17.
Yeah.
But every team plays 16 games in the regular season, plus however many they make it if they make it to the playoffs.
So that was his 18th game, I guess. Yeah. But
and
like,
if he would have made it to the NFC Championship, it would have been his 18th game.
If they didn't have the bye in the first round. Like if they had
Oh, yeah.
If they had made it and then played 2 rounds, then
I don't know what I'm saying.
I
third
like
week in January.
I like the third week in January concept of
the fact that if it was back to the 16-game season, it would have been the NFC Championship weekend.
Yeah, because now the Super Bowl is on the second week of February instead of the first. Everything just
February
got pushed
6th?
back.
4th.
The 6th is the Pro Bowl.
Oh, so it's the 12th?
Yeah, no, 13th.
13th.
Yep, math 7. Normally it would be a single-digit day in February, but it's been pushed to now. So more money for the NFL. Woo! Yeah. It's always great.
More games for us.
Mm-hmm. So that'll be fun to watch. NFC Championship talk with me and Parker next.
Tune in for that.
We may or may not have Joe Burrow on the podcast if the Bengals make it to the Super Bowl. Teaser, you're welcome. The other topic, Baseball Hall of Fame voting. I know, super exciting stuff for a lot of you.
Yeah.
But stick with us because it does get pretty interesting. David Ortiz was the only one that got in.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm happy for him. Big Papi.
Jinx.
Wow. That was impressive.
I mean, after you say David Ortiz, I feel like you have to say Big Papi because that's his nickname.
Exactly.
What number did he wear?
25. Why do you think I would know this?
No, because he's one of the best players that we've seen in our era.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I know what number he wears. I don't know anybody's number they wear.
34.
I was close.
What famous Phillies pitcher also wore number 34?
Roy Halladay.
Yeah, there we go. Progress. We're getting there.
I knew that one.
But Ortiz is the only one.
If you would have asked me what
class.
number he wore, I wouldn't have known it. But once you asked me, told me his number, I remembered the name.
You correlated it.
And
smart.
You know, yeah.
There you go. Like I said, progress. We'll get there.
Ooh, I wonder how that works in reverse. If you give me numbers and I tell you their names.
Who wears number 2 in the NFL?
There's a lot of people that wear number 2 in the NFL. Jalen.
Such as?
Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Darius Slay.
Yeah. Oh, this might actually be the way to do it.
I have a guess. I don't know if it's correct. Does Odell wear number 2 now?
No.
Oh.
3.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah.
I don't know how many more
I think the inverted way might be the way to go. That's smart. We'll try that later.
Yeah.
But David Ortiz got into the Hall of Fame. Only one to get in. There is a bit of suspicion still that he may have used performance-enhancing drugs because he was on one list of players that tested positive in like 2003, but then that was disputed, and it was like the commissioner basically said no, that doesn't count.
Can they oust him? Like, can they get him out of the Hall of Fame once he's already in?
I don't think you can be impeached from the Hall of Fame.
Well, hey, you never know. The world's weird.
Possible. Yeah.
I don't think they've ever done it to anybody.
They probably could. Let's just put it this way: if they haven't gotten Ty Cobb out of the Hall of Fame, it's hard for someone to be a worse person and still be in. So if Ty Cobb is there, I think everybody else should be fine.
Chilling.
Just Google Ty Cobb.
Safely.
Yeah, I don't know what you would have to search, but just read a little bit about Ty Cobb. Wasn't the best guy, but one of the original 5 in the Hall of Fame. So Ortiz is the only one that gets in. Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens were on their last year of the ballot, and they did not get in. And now I love how after they didn't get in, people are like, hey guys, they probably should have gotten in. And it's like, we weren't really talking about this.
Yeah.
Like, it came up in passing, but I feel like it got way more attention this year once they didn't get in. It was almost as if people realized, like, oh, wait, what? That was their last year? Whoa.
Yeah.
It kind of seemed like it caught people off guard.
Do you think they should have gotten in?
Well, you can ask Mr. Paulus about this if you see him.
I see him every day.
Yep. In my first year taking Journalism 1, one of the first pieces I wrote was it was 2 years ago, so Bonds and Clemens were in their 8th year of eligibility, and I basically wrote a piece about how they should get into the Hall of Fame because it's basically a museum, and you can't just like blip over certain parts of history that like weren't very favorable to baseball.
Yeah.
Like, history is everything that happened, but put them in their own wing and call it the Hall of Shame. So it's like, here's all the good history, and then here's all the not as good history, and it's like its own wing of the building called the Hall of Shame, and it's like Pete Rose, probably Ty Cobb, honestly, could go over there. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, those people who like cheated, or the Black Sox could go over there. Shoeless Joe Jackson, those sort of things.
That's funny.
Shoeless Joe Jackson gets a bad rap with the Black Sox scandal.
Yeah.
He's like the most famous one because he had a cool nickname.
Yeah.
And he was really good.
Anyone has a nickname.
He
they're
played
the most remembered.
Yeah. He played so well in that World Series that the White Sox were trying to lose. That, like, I don't know how he gets blamed for throwing it because he was incredible in that series. That's unrelated. But they should get in, but there should be, like, an asterisk with it or, like, some red letter, like, differentiate them somehow and be like, hey, they're in here, but...
They played really well.
But they cheated.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Just put Barry Bonds, parentheses, cheater on his plaque, and then, you know... That should be fine.
Would you show up to your ceremony if you got put in the Hall of Shame?
Probably. Because, like, if I were Barry Bonds, you're still in the Hall of Fame.
You got put there because you were really good.
Yeah, I think that if you got in, that means you have enough supporters to get into the Hall of Fame. So, like, it's not like people would be there, like, rioting during your speech. You had enough support to get the votes. So, I would probably show up. Yeah, why do you think I would get put in the Hall of Shame?
Oh, I wasn't specifying you.
No, but, like, hypothetically, why would I have gotten put in the Hall of Shame? Last thing to talk about, Tom Brady retired and then didn't retire.
Yeah, it was big.
And I don't understand what's happening anymore.
Yeah, me either, really. So basically, like, Adam Schefter, you know?
The guy.
Him
and
Woj dropped a bomb that Tom Brady was retiring.
Woj didn't drop the bomb.
No.
Normally he does.
Yeah,
him and
it was
Woj
Adam. It was Adam who dropped the bomb. And so we were all like, it's Adam, so we confirmed. Like, it was confirmed.
Never doubt.
But Tom Brady himself said that he isn't 100% sure yet.
Yeah, a couple hours after the report came out, his dad said somewhere that was wrong and Tom's not retiring.
And then, Bruce Arians and Tom.
Yeah, and the Bucs GM later. Like, Tom's dad was first, and then after him, a bunch of people were like, yeah, he's right. Tom hasn't decided yet.
Mm-hmm. So this is, like, huge. Like, is he going to retire? Is he not going to retire? Like, it's Tom Brady. He literally hasn't declined at all yet. He could probably still play, theoretically, 5 years and be a starting level quarterback. Like, we haven't seen him drop off at all. Yeah. And even if he did drop off, he'd be average.
Yeah.
And then, even if he dropped off even more than that, he would still be a starter-worthy quarterback.
Probably.
Yeah. Like, you just have to be one of the 32 best guys.
Uh-huh.
So, like, yeah, he's been top 5. He's, like, literally insane every year. Mm-hmm. So if he came back, it'd obviously be huge news for any team that's trying to go after him because he's a free agent, right?
Brady's contract is, I think he has an option at the end of this year where it's like he could opt out of the contract, but I think there is a third year with the Bucs in it. But Chris Godwin's a free agent. He's also injured, so that's unfortunate for him. We don't know if Gronk is coming back. AB is definitely not coming back anytime soon. The defense is okay, but they're going to need some more reinforcements there. So the Bucs situation is a little bit iffy. They're still obviously it's a great roster, but yeah, the situation with the Bucs isn't as ideal as it was this year, basically.
So any team could be after Brady if he opts out.
Yeah, do you think he would go to the Packers? Aaron Rodgers leaves, Tom Brady takes over in Green Bay.
And would you finally admit that Tom Brady's better than Aaron Rodgers if they win a Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah, easy. Because then that's the most easy comparison ever. That's the issue with, like, I won't go into too much of a spiel on this, but that's what makes analysis in sports so difficult is that, like, when you're doing a science fair project, it's like, okay, here's one variable, here's another variable, here's the control. Mm-hmm. In sports, you never have that. That would be the control variable. If Brady went to the Packers in the same situation and won, then yeah, it's over.
But here's the thing. Like, the Packers roster is so complete. I think it's more complete than the Bucs roster was when Tom Brady went to the Bucs. Yes. And you said, oh, Tom Brady, it's just this specific team. Like, no, he literally could have gone to any team and won the Super Bowl.
No, not true. Look at how well they drafted.
He could totally, easily go to the Packers and win a Super Bowl.
They already had a good base roster. The only reason that they went, 7-9 was because Jameis Winston threw a ridiculous amount of interceptions.
He also threw a ridiculous amount of touchdowns. It cancels out.
That's not how that works at all. No.
Yes.
No. People were like really high on the Bucs defense coming into 2020 anyway, without Brady. They were like, this Bucs defense is very good. They were just put in terrible situations by Jameis because they had to keep going back out on the field in like these very difficult spots. So people were like, the Bucs defense could be really good. They were basically a quarterback away. And then you get one of the ghosts and boom, Super Bowl. Simple formula. So,
No.
It's pretty easy.
Not true. You're saying winning a Super Bowl is pretty easy.
No.
Yes, that's what you said.
It was pretty easy to see what was going to happen. No. I said at the beginning of the year in 2020, I was like, this Bucs roster is great. Brady's going to come in. They're going to be really good. And everyone's going to be like, oh, it's because of Brady. I said that.
I know.
And then it happened. It wasn't hard to see how good they were going to be.
Because
Tom Brady's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the greatest of all
time.
If you put Tom Brady on any team, they're going to go to the Super Bowl.
If you put Tom Brady on the Lions, maybe they win 3 extra games and they go 6-11.
No.
Yeah.
They would make the playoffs.
No way.
Yes.
With the Lions?
Yes.
No chance.
No. Well, I guess we'll just have to find out.
We did find out. One time Luke and I did a Madden experiment. We put Tom Brady on the Jets. They went 7-9, missed the playoffs.
That's Madden. That's not real life. You can't live in a video game world.
Well, then how are we supposed to figure it out in real life? Actually get him on the Lions?
Yeah, maybe
what if
you
that
can
never
pay
happens?
Him. You can pay him.
Yeah.
To go to the Lions.
There we go.
You're wearing blue, so.
Yep. Oh, I just realized I'm wearing.
And white. So that's Detroit Lions colors.
I'm wearing the same sweatshirt as the last episode. But I have a flannel on over it this time, so it's different. You're welcome.
It is different.
Also, I think I was wearing my glasses last time, so way different. How did we get to this? Oh, Tom Brady retiring, not retiring.
Well, if he is retiring, he's the greatest to ever play the game. And nobody will ever be better than him. So. If he keeps playing,
could be.
No. He's the greatest of all time. I don't like your ghost term anymore. It's gotten old as soon as you keep using it 5,000 times.
Well, because you can't compare eras.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Okay, let's think about this in basketball.
Yeah, thinking basketball.
Bill Russell was the same stature, height, and weight as Harrison Barnes. Can you compare those two eras?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
How are you connecting this to the Thinking Basketball YouTube channel?
I started watching all their videos.
Thinking Basketball, shout out, is such a great YouTube channel. I found it and showed it to Parker.
Yeah. They're
fantastic.
So smart. These guys are the smartest guys.
Watching those videos have made me never want to get into a Jordan LeBron debate with you because I'm like, whoa, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
They point out things that
they're so smart.
I don't even realize. In the watching the games, just they're noticing things that these basketball players' IQ, they're super high. And these guys are so smart. Extremely smart.
They have all the advanced analytics, and then they combine it with actual breakdowns of the game, and they show plays, and then they show the stats, and great YouTube channel. How were you trying to connect that to comparing eras?
Oh, because they did compare eras in the greatest peaks. Yeah, they can. So I'm saying that
they tried to compare eras, but they even said you can't.
Yeah, but they compared.
They cut out certain parts. They said we're starting at the ABA merger.
Yeah.
Because anything from before that we can't use because there's not enough basically data on it, and it's a different era of basketball. So it was 1974 to now. So already you've shortened the scope. And then they also said this is as close to a level plane as we can make it. So they tried, they did the best they could. But you can't compare them equally.
Well, no, but they compared them. You just said you can't compare eras.
You can try,
a false statement.
but okay, you can try to, but you can't ever perfectly compare them as if they're exact equals. It always has to come with the caveat of these aren't exactly comparable.
Well, Yeah, but that's like with everything in life.
It's not apples to oranges, but it's also not apples to apples. It's like...
Well, but even if it was apples to apples, there's different kinds of apples.
Exactly. That's what it's like. It's like a Granny Smith with a Red Delicious. We nailed that because I think I only know like 2 or 3 different kinds of apple. So, how many kinds of apple can you name?
Red Delicious, Granny Smith,
yeah, say
crab apple.
Oh, no. Okay, yep, technically, yeah. Really putting Luke on the spot here.
I don't think you would do anything like illegal in the sense of performance-enhancing drugs or anything like that. I think you would...
Get framed, maybe?
Yes. I think you would be part of something like the Astros scandal, but you wouldn't have staged it, or you would have barely known that it was going on, but you were still part of the organization at the time.
Okay. Ooh, that's a good question. Do the Astros players get in? Correa, Altuve, Bregman, do they get into the Hall of Fame? Do they get into the regular wing of the Hall of Fame? Do they go in the Hall of Shame? Do they not get in at all? We'll have to wait like 15, 20 years for that to happen, but it is interesting. Do the Astros scandal people get put in the Hall of Fame? Or does it take a little while? That'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. So that was Baseball Hall of Fame stuff. And now, before we... Oh, wait, no, there's one more thing I forgot. Brandon Brooks retired.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't on our topic sheet.
No,
but he did retire, and that's very important because offensive linemen are important.
They are.
They often get overlooked, especially when they play right guard. But Brandon Brooks was a fantastic right guard.
Great Eagle. One of the best.
Yep. Unfortunately, he had a he didn't have a short career, obviously. He was a great player, and he was around for a while. But he did retire at the age of 32, which for great players is a little bit early. But, he was on the Texans.
On the Eagles was 10-year.
No. I think he was with the Texans for 4, and then we got him for 6.
But his 10-year in the NFL was 10-year. Get it? Because, like someone's time doing things like how do you pronounce it? Tenure.
Yep, 10-year.
But then
he had a 10-year tenure in
exactly.
the
That's
NFL.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, that was good. Sorry, I messed it up with the details of.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying he was with the Eagles for 10 years, and I was like.
Well, I did originally say that, and then I was like, well, no, that's not true. But
yeah,
NFL was kind of where I was going. He played football in the NFL for 10 years.
He did 10 years. A little pause.
Well,
But yeah, he was great. He won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. Unfortunately, I can't really describe his play to you. Like, if I were to say, like, Deshaun Jackson retired. He was a great Eagle, super fast, a deep threat. I can't tell you anything about Brandon Brooks' play style.
He was solid.
Dude was a good offensive lineman.
Yeah.
That's pretty much, that's it. Do you know what number he wore?
56.
No.
Oh.
79.
I was close.
Almost had it.
If you would have told me his name, then I could have... Or if you told me his number, then I could have told you his name.
79.
Brandon Brooks.
It works!
I said Brooks wrong, but, I said Brandon Brooks because he's related to those books.
He's super smart, probably.
Probably.
Never
I feel like
seems
offensive
like
linemen
guy.
are really smart.
I feel like they're I was gonna say underappreciated smart.
Who's the smartest
player?
NFL player?
They're low key smart. The Chiefs offensive lineman who's also a doctor.
Wow, that's not what I was gonna say, but that's probably true.
I was about to make that point anyway, because offensive lineman smarter than you would expect. There is a Chiefs offensive lineman. I don't remember his name. He might not be on the Chiefs anymore. He's not a starter. He's a backup offensive lineman, and he's also a doctor.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
Long last name that is hard to pronounce. That is That's where immediately. Ooh, yeah, that's impressive that he played football and also got his degree. Money.
I mean,
doctors
make a lot of money. Football players make a lot of money.
Yeah. So,
what is his wife like? A model and a lawyer?
That'd be really funny,
dude.
If they're
that kid is both set for life.
The time, but they'll never see their parents because they're working all the time, just constantly. Although I guess his dad would be able to retire pretty early after the NFL. It's not like he's going to be there forever.
Yeah. What a
But,
fallback
anyway.
plan, though. What are you gonna do after the NFL? Go to some like
guys-
small business or advertising or
Some guys tend to struggle when they leave
Yeah.
because they just don't know what to do
no.
next.
I'm gonna be a doctor. Oh, you're gonna go back to school? Nope, I already have my degree.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
very impressive stuff. So Brandon Brooks, you're not a doctor, but we still like you.
But you're Dr. Brooks.
You should have a doctorate in stopping defensive linemen.
Yeah.
That was great. I'm glad we were able to have such a good eulogy for his career, for his tenure. That lasted 10 years. Brandon Brooks, everyone.
Brandon Brooks.
I think that's my apple
Green apple.
vocab as well.
Red apple,
Yellow apple.
yellow
There's a
apple.
couple of
I've
those.
seen some yellows. Yeah, that's it.
Whose job was it to name apples? Because someone was like, you know what? There's so many kinds of apples. We should differentiate them with names. I don't know who it was, but maybe it was Johnny Appleseed.
True.
It's probably him.
I mean, his last name was Appleseed.
Yeah,
So.
he's the Apple authority, or maybe it was Apple who named the apples. Steve Jobs. I don't know. Anyway, so we don't know what's happening with Tom Brady. It's very strange, but if he does come back, I think it's the smartest move he's ever made because he got like all of the like praise and everybody was like, yeah, GOAT Tom Brady. Everyone's like posting about it, like, wow, what a great career. The NFL YouTube channel posted a like highlight reel of his career and then they took it down because they're like, wait, we don't know yet, so we might have to revise this. TB12 Sports like tweeted something and then took it down, and so it's a great move if Tom saw this and then was like, you know what, I'm gonna wait, get all of this praise, let it just wash over me, and just kidding, I'm back. And then he gets to do it all
Oh,
over
but
again.
what
It's
if
like he gets 2 retirement
But
ceremonies.
You're giving Tom Brady too much credit. I don't think
Probably.
he really tried this.
You know me, always giving Tom Brady too much credit.
I don't think he tried anything.
Yeah,
like
but it would be hilarious if he did.
But on the flip side, it would also destroy Adam Schefter's reputation.
Yes.
Like, literally, if he
Mm-hmm.
isn't retiring, Adam Schefter, it's going to destroy his reputation.
Adam
Like, this is
Schefter's
one of those-
career is in Tom Brady's hands.
Yes. I'm serious, because this is one of those moments where, like, if you get this news wrong, this is literally the biggest thing, and if you get this wrong, people are just going to start distrusting everything you say.
I would hate to have like Adam Schefter, Jeff Darlington, Woj's Shams. I would hate to have that job because you have to like be plugged in all the time, always on alert. And when you finally get information, you don't have like a ton of time to vet it because somebody else is also trying to get it. And so you have to get the information and then like relay it and put it out there first, but it also has to be right. So it seems like a very stressful job 24/7. I would not want that job.
Yes.
Very high risk because, yeah, you're trying to do things incredibly quick, but also be incredibly accurate. And those are two things that are very tough to balance. So Adam Schefter has done a great job doing that over the years, but social media is making it so much harder because everything's like instantaneous, basically. So,
Well, we've talked for a while.
Sorry, Adam.
Owen, you're the apple of my eye, and I love doing this podcast. So thanks for watching episode or listening 134. Great episode.
Luke, we bought you a bunch of apples for your birthday.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like Owen bought you like the fruit. I bought you technology. Like
Yeah.
I got you a new computer, a
Parker's
new phone,
richer than me, so.
a new false. That is very false. I need money. Luke, for your birthday, I'm giving myself money. Thank you.
Whoa!